welcome to part 3 of 3 of picking, prepping and performing your songs. If you haven't watched part 1 and 2 yet, probably a good idea to go and do that. If you don't want to watch part 1 and 2, that's fine. This video is basically going to be about performing your song and how to get the most out of performing your song in the audition room. So the first thing I'd say is you want to get your sheet music on the page that you're going to be performing before you get up and go, because otherwise you're like looking and you have no idea what you're doing. It's just a bit of a faff. So just have it ready to go before you go up and sing. The pianist is your best friend. You need to love your pianist because they are completely in control of how your song goes, and you need to be lovely to them. You need to be really nice to them. Make it as easy for them as possible. Maybe watch the previous video about how to prepare your sheet music. Preparing your sheet music's a massive one. If it's really easy for them to read, they're going to just play it beautifully for you, and that's exactly what you want. You need to know what you're going to tell them before you go up and speak to them, because you go and speak to your pianist before you sing your song, just to let them know any cuts, tempo, if your introduction is slightly different to what's written. I always went through with my pianist, there was a really long introduction, so I always just said to them, you know, just cut that, just start here. They were always fine with that. I said the tempo is, and I always just kind of sang the first bit with them and like just sort of that. Just like that. If you've got any cuts, just let them know where they are and where they need to jump to. Things like that. It's pretty straightforward, but it's just good to be really clear and know exactly what you're going to say to them when you go up, just to keep you confident and confident that they're going to play it really well. Then you make your way to the centre of the room in front of the panel, and I'd say they're all sat there, you know, like writing and stuff. I'd say wait for them to look up and look at you before you introduce your song. Don't be in a rush. You've paid to be there. This is your time. Wait for them to be focused on you. So you want to introduce your pieces clearly. So you say, hi, my name's Megan, and I'll be singing Everything Else from Next to Normal. And that's it. But it just needs to be really clear about what you're singing so they know, they'll write it down. If the pianist starts playing your song wrong, don't give them evils. So many people did this at my auditions, and I was like, basically, the panel will be more impressed if you just carry on and you carry on acting and you're not bothered about what the pianist is doing, because they'll catch up with you if they need to, or you'll catch up with them, and it'll all be fine. They will be a lot more impressed if you just carry on in your focused zone than if you start looking at them like bit faster, you know. It's not helpful. So what happened to me at my GSA audition in my first year, my song is Everything Else from Next to Normal. Started some massive Mozart sonata, and first year of my auditions I didn't really know that. I don't play the piano. My singing teacher never had a problem playing it. I realised afterwards that he simplified it, I think, or he just played it enough times to be able to play it really well. But I didn't know that it was complicated. And I went into my GSA audition, gave it to the pianist, they didn't say anything, I was fine. Started, I was like, you know, in the zone, acting, and he started playing it, and he just stopped. Full on stopped, and then like carried on really slowly, and just like made his way through it because it's really difficult. And I just carried on, and obviously the guy who was like marking me looked up and was sort of like looking at the pianist, but he kept looking at me, and I wasn't budging from my gazing into the distance in my intro. So yeah, just keep focused. If that happens, it happens. It doesn't matter. Like, you'll carry on. It'll be fine. But if you have got something really difficult like that, obviously I learned from the second year, I just told them to start after that little bit, because it was just, you don't need it, it's just an introduction, and it was really difficult to play. So it just makes it easier for everyone if you didn't do that part. When you're finished, make sure you go and get your music from the pianist. It's surprising like how many people forget to get, you know, they just like run back to their seat really quickly. I've done it a couple of times. But just, yeah, go and get your music from your pianist and say thank you to your pianist. They're your best friend. You say thank you to your best friend. Get your music and you can sit back down. I just say don't be in a rush. to sit back on your seat because you've got no reason to rush, and just stay confident, stay calm, stay grounded, plant your feet in the floor before you start singing. Pick a spot. I always pick a spot just above their eye line, just above their head. Most people say don't look into their eyes because it can make people feel uncomfortable. Some of them tell you how they want you to perform it. So at GSA, both years, they said to me, we want you to perform not as if you're in this audition room, as if you're in a massive auditorium and you're performing to the whole auditorium. So obviously that's a slightly different performance style because you're looking up more and around more. Whereas most of the time I sang my song to a spot on the wall just above the audition panel's head. Whatever works for you. Pick a spot that isn't going to move, and pick a spot that no one stood in front of, because at my Trinity audition I picked my spot and I was there and I was focused, and then one of the guys, one of the audition helpers, like moved in front of my spot, and I was like, now I'm literally just staring him in the eye, and I had to move my spot because I couldn't do my whole song looking into this guy's eyes because it was a bit weird. So yeah, pick a spot that's not going to get interrupted, maybe. I think that's it. Just be really confident in singing your song. You've done your prep and it's going to go really well. So any questions, pop them down in the comments. I'll try my best to answer them. Anything else, if you haven't watched part 1 and 2, I suggest you go and do that. That's helpful. And yeah, good luck singing your songs. If you